Have you ever wondered why you react more strongly to a situation than others around you? Maybe it's a moment that makes you feel left out or not good enough, and you can't seem to shake that cycle of frustration. Dr. Michaela Renee Johnson believes these patterns stem from our core beliefs she calls primal wounds that begin in childhood.
And it doesn't necessarily mean that we had a bad childhood or some major traumatic event. It's just simple, small, little things that can lead us to formulate these things. And there are 7 of them. And I'll give you an example. So it might be, I'm not good enough. Perhaps you're just not doing well in school as a young person. And so you start to tell yourself, I'm not good enough. As a teenager, it becomes, I'm never going to be good enough. I'm never going to make the basketball team. I'm never going to achieve what I want to achieve or get that job that I want. And then as an adult, you paradoxically pick out people and situations that affirm that belief. And the reason is because it's actually comfortable. It's actually safer to choose someone that is going to invite that situation into your life than it is to do something different, because we've dealt with it and lived it our whole lives.
Johnson is a psychotherapist and author of 7 Primal Wounds. The 7 wounds include feeling insignificant, inadequate, damaged, powerless, incapable, undeserving, and like an outsider. And though these seem to be negative emotions, Johnson says having these innate feelings is very normal. It's essentially your mind's version of touching a hot stove and then making sure that never happens again. So instead of trying to get rid of this protective mechanism, Johnson argues that we need to embrace it and learn how to make it our own personal superpower.
We inherently know when we're walking into relationships, they could hurt us. And so we're always looking for the potential threat. That's not a bad thing. That means we're working very well. It means our brain is doing exactly what it is supposed to do. But just like the hot stove situation, it doesn't mean we stop cooking. Right? Like it doesn't mean we can never use the stove because we've gotten burned once. So this is what the book's about. It's really exciting. It's actually teaching people that you're not broken, you're doing great, but you probably could benefit from learning about your activations and what's causing them so that you can disempower it and have healthy relationships moving forward.
Johnson says each wound comes with its own unique triggers and characteristics.
So for example, if my friends don't invite me to go out on Friday night because I don't have the I am an outsider wound, I probably don't care. I'm like, cool, I'm going to go for a hike. I'm going to go whatever. Like it's not going to bother me. But if I feel unchosen for something, then that might have a much deeper impact.
Which is why understanding which wound you have is crucial to controlling how you want to respond in certain situations. What's interesting is that Johnson says in many cases, whatever your core belief is will be what drives you later in life.
So the powerless wound is going to go out to do something that they might choose something where they're very empowered, right? Where they're in a position of power. Or they might choose something because of their bleeding heart nature where they're, working in a role that they're helping others. However, they might also pick a relationship with a very needy partner. And that's going to quickly build resentment and frustration. Like, why are they so needy? Why are they constantly needing me? Even though they actually sought that out because it's their wound and what they know and what they want to attach to. And this does play a lot into attachment theory. But in our work and in our decision-making processes, sometimes we'll say yes to things from the wounded lens that we should be saying no to.
Johnson says if someone's unaware of how their primal wound is causing them to react, it can draw them into a harmful cycle. However, her research has found that when used with intention, these core beliefs can still act as a protection without impeding on the rest of your life.
We can actually rewire our brain. There is tons of research that is coming out, including my own, that is showing you can actually rewire these primal pathways. You can choose different. And this is the hot stove analogy. You can touch the hot stove, go, dang, that was hot, and still cook on the stove because you can learn how to embrace it with a different mindset, embrace it with a different set of plans for how you're going to navigate if it's hot, right? And once you know that, you can actually use your best skill set ever as your superpower. Your past is not your problem. It actually becomes your superpower. And so that's the beautiful part of Primal Wounds. It's not negative at all. It's actually really positive focused. It's taking what is your human emotional survival that a lot of work has not been exposing and turning it into something that you can actually look at and call out and have a conversation with.
These conversations will probably look different depending on which part of yourself becomes activated. Johnson says that the issue she sees most in couples she works with is that they're constantly triggering each other without resolving any of the problems.
We can't be constantly wounding one another without repairing it. Otherwise, we're walking around with a shield. So that's when people say we don't talk anymore, we stonewall, we disengage, all that kind of stuff.
So instead of automatically reacting like you normally would in a tense situation, Johnson says you should pause. Give yourself a breath to realize how you want to naturally respond and ask yourself if that reaction will be helpful to your end goal. It's very easy to become defensive in arguments and want to blame the other person. In fact, you can know all the mental health tools for positive communication, but without mindfulness and intention, those tools can easily become ammunition.
A hammer is a weapon or it's a tool, depending on how you're using it. So I really teach them, we need to think about tools a little differently. Because if you're swinging a hammer when you're ticked off, it's probably not an effective tool. It's a weapon, right? So that's kind of the thing, is really recognizing what's going to work for your wound, how to disempower it by calling it out. And frankly, what I see more often than not is we really like to put expectations on our partner. And I heard a great phrase from somebody just yesterday. They said, expectations are premeditated resentments. And the partner is never going to deliver on the repair because they don't know how to do it. They're not you. They're not in your body. And so the biggest fatal mistake I see is expecting our partner to do the next right thing. We have to do the next right thing to fix ourselves, to help ourselves, to improve and stop the pattern.
There are a few ways that Johnson recommends getting familiar with your primal wound. For some people, the scariest part of this work happens when they have to start putting each exercise into practice.
The undeservers, right? They love to be yes people. They will say yes, even if they are completely expended and exhausted and don't have a yes in them. They will say yes. They will take it on. So the undeservers, what they might work on is, for example, saying, while I would love to pick up your kids from school for you, I actually can't do that. Thank you for understanding. So this is a rewire, right? What my undeservers love to do is they love to say, either they'll say, no, I'm so sorry. I can't do that. I'm so sorry. I would love to, but I'm so sorry. Right. And they're just completely living in that I am not deserving of having my own time or being able to say no. Right. So for that example, what we might say is, I appreciate that you've asked me and I can't do that today. Thank you for understanding. No apologies, no undeserved narrative, just gonna take time for myself because I deserve it. I deserve to have this time.
Each exercise is custom to every wound and how it manifests in each individual's life. If you're wondering where to start, Johnson offers a free quiz on our website, 7primalwounds.com. You can find more information about Dr. Michaela Johnson and all of our guests on our website, radiohealthjournal.org. Our writer-producer is Kristen Farah. Our production manager is Jason Dickey. I'm Greg Johnson.